Okay! APA Season 1, I don't know. Week number 2, we are taking on my boy Hugo, coach of the Montreal Monfernos. So if you guys are excited for today's Pokemon Showdown Draft League battle, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button down below. Did you guys know that almost 60% now of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed? So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, I really appreciate it. We are on our way to 500 by the end of the year, 400 by Scarlet and Violet release, but 500 by the end of the year is my ultimate goal. So I would really appreciate it if you guys did hit the subscribe button. It's free and it really makes me feel good. That's my solo for the day. So here we are against Hugo and the Montreal Monfernos. If you guys didn't check out last week's battle, should be popping up, and if not, it's on the you'll find it. It has a lot of views on it. It has Zamazenta on it. It's pretty cool. This week we're playing Hugo. Hugo is one of my boys from way back when. Hugo was known as the GOAT. Hugo bullied people and was really good at the game. So definitely a little grudge match here. I played Hugo in Season 5 of APA Classic, which is like a league that no one really talks about anymore, but that's like where APA started. I played him in finals in my first season there, and yeah, haven't been able to beat Hugo. I don't know if I've ever actually taken a win off Hugo, thinking about it. I was always bad back in the day, and I'm still not good. Also, I'm going to be playing with my hair a lot. I just got out of the shower, and my hair's doing this thing where it just doesn't cooperate with what I want it to do. So now I have this like weird bang on the right side of my face, and I can't make it go away. Like, I feel like my hair is growing in one-sided, and it's really weird. Anyways, enough about my hair. You guys hear about Pokemon. So yeah, Hugo's team, okay, let's try that again. Hugo has a really cool roster. A lot of people saying it's not that great of a roster. I don't mind it. Maybe it's just because I'm bad, but I like Hugo's roster. I'll probably throw something up above me. If not, then, well, you guys will have to use your ears. Hugo's team consists of the Clefable, Snorlax, Manaphy, Amoonguss, Hitmontop, Golurk, Mega Ampharos, Infernape, Hoopa Unbound, Crobat, and Jinx. Our team, if you guys don't already remember, the Zamazenta, Slowbro, Heracross, Decidueye, Clefairy, Regigigas, Mega Charizard X, Zapdos, Greninja, Stunfisk, and MUK. So I have a fire squad cooked up. You guys see the MUK. Hugo doesn't actually have a steel type, and his ground type is Golurk. So I'm really confident if MUK is ever going to have a good matchup, it's this one. So I said, fuck it, we ball with the MUK here. Even though there were probably better brings, yes, I said, fuck it, we ball. This is a for fun league. So thought I'd bring some heat this week. So just running down my team real quick. Before we get into the battle, sorry, I just finished eating lunch. I have a Choppleberry lead Spikes Gren. Pretty offensive here. Basically, Scald, Ice Beam, U-Turn, and Spikes. The idea is just get up Spikes. I don't actually have Rockers on this team, so a lot of the time my Hazard plan is just going to be Spikes. But also just a really nice lead to click U-Turn. Against almost anything I'm free to click U-Turn on. I don't see a whole lot of Scarfers on his team. The Choppleberry was to catch a potential Infernape from a Mach Punch or a Scarf Close Combat or a Scarf Hoopa Focus Blast. Or Drain Punch, and claim a kill on either one of those. Those two were the biggest threats to my team, so I was really willing to make that trade, as Gren could kill either one for basically free, because I didn't need an item slot this game, and Sash was just unreliable with potential rockers on his end, being like Clef and Golurk and things like that. I have a pretty Spadef Charizard, mixed defensive, but primarily Spadef Charizard with Fire Punch, Scale Shot, Roost, and Dragon Dance. Sword Stance, sorry. We are Sword Stance, Scale Shot. I like the immediate power of +2 over the +1/+1. Scale Shot boosts weren't a whole lot needed, considering how slow Hugo's team was. Scale Shot was nice to pick off like an Infernape or anything like that and boost the speed for that. But a lot of the time, I really just like the immediate +2 Fire Punch killing things. And even without attack investment, I just kill everything because Charizard is a fucking demon. I have a Spadef Curse MUK with Gunk Shot, Rest Talk, and Curse. This shit goes crazy. Like I said, he doesn't have a steel type, so nothing stops me from clicking Gunk Shot. And his ground type is Golurk, which if I can get a couple curses up, I beat 1v1 anyways. So I really wasn't too concerned. I also didn't think Golurk was going to come, but it did. Hoopa is a threat, but if it's physical Hoopa, I beat it 1v1. And if it's special, I don't. I do take one Psychic from non-boosting item from full. So like there is that scenario, I guess, that I can kill the Hoopa. And if I can trade MUK for Hoopa, that's value. I don't know about you, but if I'll trade my regular MUK for Hoopa. We have a primarily Fizdev Zapdos, a good amount of speed. I'm outspeeding an Adamant Hoopa, or Modest Hoopa. If he is timid or jolly or like hasty or some shit like that, he will outspeed me, but I decided to hit Adamant just because like that hits a little too hard for my liking. Not that timid and jolly don't hit super hard, but I do like having that speed tier just because I don't know what he exactly is going to go for on my team, because my team does have that weird speed gap after Heracross, so could go either way. We are Thunderbolt, Hurricane Roost, and U-turn. We are safety goggles on the Zapdos because he did have an Amoonguss, and I wanted something to switch in safely to the Amoonguss, and I didn't want it to be my Charizard because I didn't want Charizard being sleep fodder and then bringing in Manaphy or, you know, things like that and just being annoying. Zapdos was a very free switch in, forcing it out, and I didn't mind a whole lot giving up heavy duty boots for the safety goggles, although he didn't bring Amoonguss, so I kind of regret it now. We have a Zamazenta. Listen. The Zamazenta set's going to be the same every week. He doesn't do much. He's a Zamazenta. He clicks buttons. Rusted Shield with Psychic Fangs, Close Combat, Behemoth Bath, Wild Charge. We have enough speed to outspeed an Infernape. And we're just here to kill things. Simple as that. And last but not least, we have a Flamewar Paracross with Mega Horn, Close Combat, Facade, and Knockoff. Another amazing break of this game. Like I said, Hugo's team is very slow. Teams like this that are very slow and balanced, like Heracross just eats for dinner. So I decided to let him feast, as you will. You guys can see on the other side, Hugo decided to bring the Hitmontop, the Clefable, the Mega Ampharos, the Manaphy, the Golurk, and the Hoopa Unbound. No Infernape was super huge for me. That was probably the biggest threat besides Hoopa for me, as that mon was really annoying. No Snorlax is really nice, but I have double fighting, so I'm not too shocked about it. The other thing was no Amoonguss. That was really nice. And no Crobat. The speed tier was kind of annoying for Crobat, so I thought Crobat could come. But yeah. So I'm just going to obsolete with my Gren here. So I drag that to the other side. I'm going to obsolete with my Gren here. Like I said before, I can U-turn on just about anything. I don't really want to prioritize Spikes in this matchup because he does have Hitmontop to spin, and Clef that is most likely Magic Guard. If I can remove one, then the value of Spikes goes up, but with the two of them, Spikes isn't the most important. But against something like a Manaphy, I can get a Spike up before I U-turn. But for the most part, I'll be clicking U-turn off the turn 1, as he does leave with the Ampharos, so I have to get out of here, as I do not want to, you know, die. So I'm going to U-turn into my Zapdos here. Zapdos is probably like the only thing that can really check Mega Ampharos on my team, and that still did almost half. He brings in the Hoopa, and I'm going to double out here into my Zama for a couple reasons. Zapdos, like I said, only outsped Adamant Hoopa. I forgot this in-game. I thought I outsped Timid. I didn't. I learned that the hard way in-game. So I wanted to see what that interaction was going to be like. I wanted to scout damage first off, see if it was physical or special, and I wanted to see if he switched out fearing U-turn, who switched out first, because obviously whoever switches out first is faster. So I wanted to see how that interaction worked out between the two of us. He does switch out first, so that gives me an indicator that he is either timid / jolly, or he is scarfed. Either way, it's fine, knowing that he's not like adamant boosting item, or he is scarfed. Both are good situations for me. So he doubles into his Golurk, which I'm not too concerned about because it's a Golurk. So I'm just going to fire off a Behemoth Bash here and see what his play is. And he's going to reveal to be physically defensive Rocky Helmet Golurk with rocks. Didn't expect that. Going to switch my Heracross here though, as Earthquake is going to bounce, and by bounce I mean do 30%, which is kind of ridiculous. And I'm just going to fire off a knockoff here, get rid of this Hitmontops. Also Rocky Helmet. And Heracross is just going to kind of sit here for a little bit. And I in game, I was really debating these next few turns a lot, but I'm not punished for doing these things. And him pivoting around is just giving me chip. So he's going to kind of pivot around and let me die to burn and in-tim shuffle my Heracross. But overall, just chipping Hitmontop is really good because once I get rid of Hitmontop, spikes go up and are there to stay, which are really nice for him pivoting around and shuffling like this. He's going to opt to go into his Mega Ampharos, and I'm just going to click Close Combat twice. I do crit him with this second Close Combat, and that definitely sucks for Hugo, because he would have been able to kill my Heracross, but also it would have, it definitely changed how the game plays out, but I don't know if it changes how much the game plays out, because with the Ampharos being so low, it was literally revenged by any of my Pokemon. So it was more than likely if he didn't Volt Switch to kill Heracross, he just ends up sacking it the next turn, which gives him the momentum on whatever I bring in. But a lot of things, like, I have counterplay to, right? So like if he killed Heracross, I was more than likely going to revenge with either probably Greninja to click Ice Beam if I had to just guess, or Zama just to fire off a big attack. And that would either force more damage on Hitmontop, or it would bring it in for free, and then, you know, hit like Zama, and then I just get free Zapdos or free Charizard or free MUK, And, you know, it just kind of plays around the game. So, definitely sucks for Hugo, but we'll take that. That's, you know, Intim Shuffle, Guts, Heracross. Kind of what happens. Brings in Clefable, and he's going to double back and him on top, just get another Intim Shuffle. I'm going to click Knock Off again. I just want to knock off items. And then here, I'm not falling for his bullshit. I know he's going into Golurk, so I'm just going to click Knock Off one more time before I die. Except, I forget, when you die to Rocky Helmet, if you die to the Rocky Helmet hit, you don't get rid of the item. So he gets to keep his Rocky Helmet. Nothing I could really do there. I send in Zama because it does force a kill, whereas I could have gone Gren to finish this off, but if that brought in Manaphy, then I was kind of in a tougher spot because my Charizard wasn't Mega yet, so I didn't actually have great water resist because Gren is actually walled by Manaphy. I don't have Dark Pulse or Grass Knot or anything like that. So if we brought in Gren, I could have been in a worse spot, so I may as well just take the helmet damage and get rid of the Golurk that is unguardable against his team. He's going to bring in the Hitmontop. I'm going to go on my Zapdos here. Triple Axle was an insane play if he clicked it, but I felt it was too aggressive just because of Zama being in. But he does make a good aggressive con-click Toxic, which is also a good mid-ground. Me not wanting to risk my Zama there was a good call on him, Toxic in the Zapdos. But this gives me a free Roost here, as he doesn't really deal with Zapdos a whole lot outside of Clef. So I can Roost up, and then I can U-turn out on this Clef for really free. And I can go into my Muck here and, you know, start mucking shit up. He's going to reveal Calm Mind, which I was very shocked to see. I didn't expect Calm Mind Clef, but I also didn't expect Fizz Def Golurk. I thought this was going to be the rocker, so makes sense that this thing is a little more offensive. But, yeah, Muck is here, and you are going to fear Muck. He's going to go Hitmontop, try and just scout what I'm going to go for. I'm going to reveal the Curse, and here, Earthquake from Hitmontop does like 30% at best. So I'm going to Curse again. As he goes back into Clef, and I'm like, this is this game? Are you sacking Clefable? But he's gonna reveal the Encore, which was really good bring on his end. Wasn't expecting Encore, especially on this type of set. So his last two moves are probably like Moonblast Soft Boiled, which obviously is walled by like things like Muck anyways. But Encore is really nice to detour me, and it does beat a lot of my team. Like my Fairy resists don't really resist Fairy, like Charizard and Zama. But here, I'm going to make a bit of an aggressive play, but I stand by my play. I don't think it was a bad play at all. I'm going to switch into my Gren here. And the reason I switch into Gren is because I expect him to abuse me being Encored, right? So with Muck being Encored and a Curse, I expect him to try and punish it. Thinking that this Clef's last two moves are Soft Boiled and Moonblast, it doesn't beat Muck anyways. Like, you can spam Encore, but I have more, it just doesn't win. So I expect him to try and punish the Muck by getting the free turn in Hoopa or even Manaphy. So I wanted to detour that by going to my Gren here. If he went Manaphy, I could get a U-turn off into something like Zapdos, or even back into Muck, which I'm Spadef, and I can chew the hits from Manaphy. Or if he went to Hoopa, that was the best case scenario, because Gren lived any hit, and could potentially pick it off with a U-turn, which would be ideal. But he is just going to opt to Moonblast here, which really threw me off. I didn't expect that play at all, because I felt like it just didn't gain him anything. But it worked out for him. I made the aggressive call, and I got punished for it. And but this does bring in my free Zama here. Not that I was too worried about Gren doing a whole lot. Like I said, Manaphy I couldn't touch, and this had Magic Guard, and this had Rapid Spin most likely. So like spikes weren't super useful. Gren was only really useful for luring that Hoopa. So it wasn't the biggest deal in the world. It was a risk I was willing to make. But it definitely sucks that I got punished for an aggressive play there. But it is what it is, you know. So I bring in my Zama here, and I'm just going to fire off a Behemoth. If he goes in Hitmontop, he's dead to Behemoth into Psychic Fangs. And if he goes into Manaphy, Behemoth into Wild Charge does a shit ton. If he's not, like, super bulky, he actually dies to it. So Zama does get to claim a kill here. He's going to go into his Hitmontop. The Intimidate is not going to help him. So I'm going to Behemoth, and then I'm going to reveal the Psychic Fangs here. The reason I do this is because I did see him potentially saving Hitmontop just for one last Intimidate on either my Muck or my Zama. So I wanted to save Behemoth Bash PP just in case like some shit happened where I had to like beat Clefable and Manaphy. Just to save the PP. I have Psychic Fangs for Hitmontop. That's why I brought it. And Infernape. So I'm not too concerned about revealing it there. As he does go into Manaphy. Does nothing. But this does reveal that he is a very bulky Manaphy. Just based off that little bit of damage. It still should have done it about 20s if he wasn't very, very bulky. So get to bring in my Muck here. Not too concerned about anything this Manaphy wants to do, as he does go for a Calm Mind. I can still very easily chew 2 Scalds from this thing, so I'm actually going to opt to set up a Curse first, as he reveals Sub. So he's Sub Calm Mind Manaphy, and now I just know I need to just spam Gunk Shot. He does Scald. I'm going to Gunk once here, and then if he subs, I'm going to gunk again, and if he subs, I'm going to rest, because what that did is it let me not waste gunk PP, because he could have tried and sat there. He could have tried to sit there and like stall me out of gunk shots, but resting on that second sub would have let me get back to full. And if you use Sleep Talk with an attacking move, it takes PP off of Sleep Talk, not the attacking move. So I wouldn't have been wasting gunk shot PP, and I would have had a lot more gunk shots than the Manaphy would have been able to stall out. But he does realize he doesn't win that 1v1, so he's going to go into Hitmontop and just sack it off, as MUK gets its probably only kill for the season. But, you know, that's cool. That's one more than I expected it to get. He brings in Hoopa. If he's not offensive, I have a chance to live this. Like, if he's not super offensive, or like boosting item, I have a chance to live this. I died. not too worried about MUK dying there to a Life Orb Hoopa. I was Payappa Berry for a little bit, but I felt like Black Sludge was just better overall. Even though Payappa could have been a good lure for this Hoopa, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So let my MUK go down. That's fine, as I can bring in my Zapdos once again, or my Zama once again, and force another kill here. I'm going to CC, because if he goes into Clef, CC and a Behemoth could have, it was a very good chance to kill based on the damage I found from earlier. And if it didn't, I could still take a Moonblast. And if he Moonblasted, he was left low for Charizard, which meant Charizard won the game there. So it opened up a lot of doors if he went Clef. Manaphy, from after taking Psychic Fangs, was in range to die to close combat into Wild Charge, or if I got a high roll in close combat, into close combat. But he does opt to sack Hoopa, which is probably best case scenario for me, because this mod is annoying. Although it made sense because all three of my mons were faster than it. So I guess well, he didn't know that Zapdos was fast. Or no, he did know that Zapdos was slower. But like, Zapdos gets sacked here anyways to Manaphy. I can just spam T-Bolt, prevent him from setting up a sub, which he does. I thought he would Calm Mind here, but sub also worked in case I was faster. Go to my Charizard, because this might water resist. So I'm just going to Mega, and I believe I Roost here. Yep, Roost just to stay nice and healthy, because Fat Charizard beats both these Pokemon Wave 1. I'm going to go aggressive Zama. I expect him to either Soft Boil to scout damage on Charizard, or click Encore, preemptively expecting a Dragon Dance or a Roost, or even a Fire move, because if he Encores me into a Fire move, he can go into his Manaphy and kind of put me in a bad spot. So I didn't expect Moonblast here. Worst case scenario, if he did Moonblast again and catch me off guard like that, I did take one because, you know, Zamazenta. But he does just opt to Soft Boiled, which gives me free Zama. I can Behemoth Bash. This thing does take one, just barely. Do take that very nicely. And I force another kill here with my Zama. He's going to give me the Clef. He's not going to be able to switch around, because if he goes into Manaphy, he's dead. So then Zama just claims 2. So he's just going to give me the Clef and have his only odds of winning being Manaphy. But Zama's going to force it into a range of where Charizard can very easily revenge it. So he's going to pick me off and take this down to a 1-0 victory for us, as we send in our Charizard and just kick Scale Shot. If he got crit Scald into Scald, I was in trouble. Like, he would have to crit Scald into me missing Scale Shot. But because of how bulky, Fire Punch was actually a roll, and I didn't trust the roll, because if I didn't get the roll and then he crit me, then that was rough. So I was willing. It was more likely just for me to hit Scale Shot and kill him anyways. So yeah. So that was week 2 against Hugo. A little bit unlucky, but with the Gren there, but obviously no hacks or anything like that outside of the Mega Ampharos. But like I said, I feel like the game would have turned out very similarly, with Zama claiming a lot of kills and Charizard cleaning up in the end. So GG's to Hugo. Very proud that I took a game off Hugo, even though he hasn't played in like 4 years. I still feel good, because, like, I don't know, something nice about beating someone you've never beat before. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's Pokemon Showdown Draft League battle, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button down below. On the left hand side will be a YouTube video recommended for you, and on the right hand side will be the rest of our APA playlist if you guys haven't checked it out already. So if you guys did enjoy, like I said, like button and subscribe button. And until next time, my name is Kurt, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out. Bye.